go ahead and start. We're going to just jump right into it. I want to show you this groove. I've been doing it with the high schoolers at Rio, and it occurred to me that I don't think I've taught it to you yet. Do you know what Songo is? Have we done Songo?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. So, I'm going to play it for you a little bit, and then you can work it out. I'm going to write it down. Okay? Whatever. Deal with them later. Okay. So, it's a linear pattern. Actually, first, let's start by making it symmetrical, and then we'll take one out. Got it? It written out. So you're gonna, most of the time you're gonna use cross stick for it. It's only when you want something really big that you're gonna go to full snare. So okay. So then once you get pretty good at it, what we're gonna do is it's gonna be a 2-bar pattern. So you're gonna do it once and then a second time. The first time, you're gonna leave out that note. You're gonna leave that one out. Yep. So this is called Songo. So this you're gonna use for Afro-Cuban rhythms. So if you remember, I showed you 2 different Latin foot patterns. Do you remember them both? And what was the other one? Yeah. So which one's Brazilian and which one's Afro-Cuban? Do you remember?
Brazilian, I guess, is...
All the way around. So Brazilian is bossa and samba. Those are Brazilian. Okay, so your bossa and your samba, those are Brazilian. That's what we've spent the most amount of time with. So boom, 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 boom. That right there, the way out, that's Afro-Cuban. Songo is also Afro-Cuban. So in a lot of sort of mambo kind of settings is when you can use a songo. They also specifically have songos. But it's a good pattern to use. Plus, like when you get it up to speed, like linear grooves like this sound so nice. Right? Sounds super nice. If you then have to go heavy and you have to start using your snare drum, then you accent beat too. So you can do all that kind of stuff. That'll be a fun one. So if you're gonna accent with an open cymbal, you're gonna do it on the first beat of the first measure, not the second measure. Yeah, but this one's cool because this is one of those ones that just sounds like super impressive. It's just a linear groove, but linear grooves always sound so crazy when they go fast. It sounds like you're doing all this crazy syncopated stuff.
What was the Heathens one?
So there's no overhead mark. Okay, so remind me, what is this called? Do you remember? Songo. Okay, so that'll be a new one for you to start working on. While we're working on other things, I'll write it down in your book so that we're not using class time to do it. But I'll write it down in your book. But it's another good one to know. In fact, getting ready for one of your next styles that you were going to work on, I started listening to some Mambos today. Yep, do you remember Mambo?
No.
So you have your bio out? Yeah, that's the harder one. That's the harder one. Yep. The reason why it's hard is because your left hand is going to do the clave, and then your right hand is going to do the Pascara pattern. Okay, yeah, you gotta remember. So in the same way that I've shown you different ways of playing sambas, different ways of playing bosses and stuff, right? All three of those patterns would work if someone called a mambo. They call something Afro-Cuban, then that stuff's gonna work. Okay? You've got your straight ding 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 mambo. Ding chaka ding doo doo ding chaka ding boom ding chaka ding boom boom ding chaka ding boom. You get that one? And then you do 3-2 and you have your songo. Alright. Alright. I've just decided right now I'm gonna make a little bit of an executive change, okay? I promised you that we would do Mercy Mercy second, but I'm gonna move the order around a little bit. The reason why I'm doing this is because
Mercy's still second.
sure, I promised that, so I'm not gonna mess with that order. But we've talked about for a long time having you come in and just kind of sit in with the jazz band
Sit in, sure.
at Rio Mesa.
Okay.
And Mr. E just called that tune today. So they're going to be playing this tune. Here's why this tune is really cool, actually.
It's got like 10 million songs in it.
Yes. So, do you know what a sampler platter is?
No.
So you go to a restaurant.
Oh, for food.
You go to a restaurant, and instead of getting like a burger, you get a sampler platter. And what it's going to have is it's going to have like 2 little quesadilla pieces. It's going to have 2 mozzarella sticks, like 3 chicken wings, you know, a little bit of this, little bit of that, right? It's not like one regular meal. It's a bunch of small meals, and you get to try everything, is what it is. This feels like that to me. So this is, they call that a medley. So they take a bunch of different songs. So they have Take the A Train is in here. They have Don't Get Around Much Anymore is in here. They have Mood Indigo is in here.
Caravan.
Yep. Wow, you remembered. Caravan. And
It don't mean a thing.
Don't Mean a Thing. Okay? So you've got 5 different songs that are all being played in here. Okay? So you've got regular straight ahead jazz. You've got brush ballads.
Oh, good.
You've got Afro-Cuban, and you have shout chorus. Boogaloo / shout chorus.
Afro-Cuban?
So that
At least it's
when
nice and
I
tight.
played it with the high school, when they didn't have a drummer, was it 2 years ago, I think, something like that, 2 years ago. I played that first mambo, ding chaka ding boom boom ding chaka ding boom ding chaka ding boom boom ding chaka ding boom. So that was what I played through that, but other ones would likely still work. So songo would still sound good. If you were to do the 2-3 clave, that would be pretty impressive, right? So. We've got other things that you can do, but that's the most straight ahead, and that's the easiest for the band to follow because the band gets to hear
But that's
this.
a lot of paper.
That's why it's the easiest one to follow. Whereas the band has a lot harder of a time following. At least in high school.
Also, this is.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about that. All right. So let's talk about this chart. And we'll learn to play it. So,
I mean, if you just play me the music,
I know.
I can listen to it and get it.
You're right. But we're not going to do it that way. Why? Why?
I know.
Because you don't like me doing it that way.
No, that's actually not correct. I think your ears are one of your strengths, and I think it's very good that your ears are so strong. And I think that will serve you well as a musician. So, with that said, then why?
If you want to work on my weaknesses.
I want to work on your sight reading.
Ugh.
So, here's how we're going to do it, okay? We're going to run little piece at a time, and you're going to kind of, just based on what's written, you're going to play something that you think is good enough, right? And we're going to work our way, chunk, little chunk at a time, all the way down, right?
And this one's relatively easy. Just got to do like 4 things.
Yeah. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put the recording on, and you're gonna play at the same time. So the recording will be there, but you won't get to listen to it first and then go. You're gonna have to read the music as it's playing.
Like that.
Okay? Because that's how sight reading goes. Okay? So let's try a little bit of the reading first. I think as far as the stuff that you already know how to do, this isn't too bad. The only thing that just occurred to me, I do have brushes in here. Okay. Because we will need brushes for the third piece.
Third? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the third chunk. Okay. So, the beginning, they want a hi-hat swing. Do you remember how that one goes? So don't think out of nowhere necessarily. That's a different rhythm, right? But you have the right idea. You still have this. So, when you see these open circles like that, that's what they're telling you. The plus is when you close the circle. The circle is when, or the plus is when you close the hi-hat. The circle is when you open it. Yeah? So all it's telling you is right? Just as I've already shown you how to do. So, look ahead as well. So, what stands out to you? So take a look at the reading. What stands out?
It says all time.
Well, don't worry about. For now, we're just doing the first chunk. So I'm looking at from here to here.
It's about.
So what jumps out at you?
It's about half time. Like half of it is time.
Yeah, a lot of it is just playing time. Okay. Are there hits?
Yes.
Where are they?
In the spaces where there's no notes marked.
Kind of. So right here, are there hits?
Yeah.
No, that's just telling you to play time.
Oh, you're
Time.
hitting the time.
Well, that's different. So when I say hits, what I mean is I'm meaning
Figures.
figures. I'm meaning these things. Right? Just like with out of nowhere. So you have the figures. So where's your first figure? Very, very quick. Yep. What is that? That's one of your 3 general letters. Yeah, that's just a setup. Right? Okay, what about here? Chillin'? Even all the way through here, which means this is going to repeat. Where does it repeat to? Yeah, goes back to here. So you're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
16.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And then-
Or sorry, 7, 8, right? Because it's a second ending. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6.
And then you got another setup. Okay. Over here.
It's
So,
literally mostly
when it has 4 on the floor like that, listen, this is important, okay? I know you being Zane, that's going to be boom, 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 right? Too heavy. So, they call this feathering the bass, which means you're just going to take your big toe and you're going to tap the bass drum. The lightest.
like this.
Yep. So you're going to play regular ding, 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 ding. And I want the bass drum almost not even hearable. Very light. Because really what it does, it's meant more as a substitute for the bass player. Because the bass player is going doom, 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 doom. He's doing a walking bass. So if you were going too loud, you're gonna trample over the bass player's melody. So it has to be very light, just underneath. You're kind of propping the bass player up a little bit, okay? Or the other alternative, you can leave it out entirely.
That actually sounds
Okay? So they've also got some cross stick if you'd like. A common one is to do your cross stick on 4. That's a common one. Okay? So then, where's your next set of hits? Your next figures.
after this.
Yep, so you have a setup right there. This is just regular time still. What about these?
Right here.
Yep. So you have 2 quarters, and then you have an actual set of figures like what we've done. So, this is what I was trying to tell you with the Houghton book, right? It's rare that it's ever that dense. Look at how much time you played before you had an actual figure like in the Houghton book. Look at this is your first one. That's measure 28.
No.
Setups, that's not the same thing. These are just little setups. I'm talking about like a full set of figures, right? So, how would you play this set of figures? What would you do here? Good guess, but work it out. So first of all, break it into small pieces. What do you think that is?
Quarters then.
So good, 2 quarters. Bop, bop. Yeah, rough bark. This is a rest. Rough bark. So because there's a rest, I would even bark it on the hi-hat because it's really abrupt. Bop, bop. And then rest. It's another bark. Rough bark, bark. And then what's this? Yeah. Rough bark, bark, set up. You see how it works? Yeah? So, here's the deal. When you're sight reading it, if you don't catch that figure, is it the end of the world? No. Try, even if it catches you by surprise or things go bad, try to just get the setup part at the end and then keep going. Okay? No big deal. Alright? You have to... the most important thing once we start is that you try your best and you go from beginning to end. That's going to be the most important part. Okay? If you make mistakes along the way, that's all good. Alright, so after you have this figure, we're back to playing time. Time, time, time. Oh,
Figure.
a figure. Nice and easy. Bop, bop, rough bark. Right? Bop, bop. So why do you think I'm barking these? Why am I barking that one and why did I bark these over here?
Short.
It's short because there's a rest afterwards. Right? Yeah? Okay. So, because they want you to drop out, they just want you to play hi-hat for 2 counts. Room ba bop bop dooba dooba set up. Right? Oh, actually, that's another rough bark. That's not a setup. Because it's 4 and, not on 4. Can you see it? So look at this. This is 3 measures, And you got to work together all of your jazz letters. So start one at a time, right? Roomba, bop bop, dooba dooba, rough bark. Another bark, but it's medium, right? So maybe rough bark crash. And then
Crash,
a dooba dooba. There you go.
You just go back.
So see, when you can kind of see the letters, it's not so tough. A roomba, bop bop, dooba doo bark, a rough bark crash, a dooba dooba.
You would do bark, and you would skip this. You would do bark, rough bark crash,
Dooba doo bark, a rough bark,
and then rough bark crash.
a roomba, bop bop, dooba doo bark, a roomba, ba, booba doo ba. Yeah, I said roomba, but rough bark is what I meant. Yeah. Okay, so that's probably gonna be the hardest part in the first chunk, right? Yeah. So,
Does this just keep going?
what do you mean? Does it keep going?
Like, is there a break in between these?
Nope. Not unless they tell you there's a break, which this one they do. So those two slashes right there to let you know that there's kind of a break. Like there's a whole bar here, and that gives you time to switch to your brushes, and then you do brushes for these two lines. And then they give you a lot of time here, right? They give you basically you hit that downbeat and you got 1, 2, 3 measures and a fermata. Do you know what a fermata is?
No.
Fermata means the conductor stops conducting. 1, 2, 3, and just holds. So everyone will just hold a note, and then you're gonna come in and they're gonna join you. Boom, and they're all gonna come in.
Let's just do, and you just wait for the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's semi easy.
So this is something that we run into with drum music, is that a lot of times when it comes to Latin rhythm specifically, you can't really trust it. It's unfortunate, but a lot of these guys that do these arrangements, they're not drummers. So they go, oh, it's Latin, that means it's samba feet. No, this is Afro-Cuban, it's not samba, so you're not gonna play it like a samba, right? So even though it's written like a samba, ignore that, because what are these? Do 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 do. It's the mambo one that I showed you. Boom. It just repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, the only thing that might confuse you is that pattern that I showed you right there. That's a 2-bar pattern. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Meaning that every time you complete that pattern, it's 2 measures. Right? Ding, chaka, ding, boom, boom, ding, chaka, ding, boom, ding, chaka, ding, ba, ba, ding, chaka, ding, boom. So you got to be careful that you're not counting ding, chaka, ding, da, da, ding, chaka, ding, boom, ding, chaka. That's too slow. It's too slow. It's 2 measures for every cycle. Okay? So that means 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They even have those little numbers up there to help you out. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
It's an odd number. Because look, 2, and then do 2, then it comes here, starts here, starts here, starts here, starts here, starts here, then you have to restart it. Starts here.
Well, what's happening is they're marking for you every 4 measures, which is going to be 2 complete cycles. Ding, chaka, ding, 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 chaka, ding, dong, ding, chaka, ding, da, da, ding, chaka, ding, dong. 5.
Starts. Start. Start.
So look.
Start.
Right
Listen,
here.
Bubba. Listen.
Look. Right here. 2 measures. Ding, chaka, ding, da, da, ding, chaka, ding, boom, ding, chaka, ding, da, da, ding, chaka, ding, boom.
Wait, what? That's
2, 4. Then you have 6,
2 measures
8.
yourself.
No, this is only written as 1 measure. This isn't 2 measures.
It's
I know. Remember what I said about ignoring it? It's Latin. They have a really hard time writing Latin in a way that's real. That's what the drummer actually wants to say. Okay? That's why they get away with all of this, is because half the time the drummer's like, just put slashes in there, I'll take care of it. And so then arrangers go for long periods of time without ever having to actually figure out what drum patterns are important to use here. Because if you're doing exactly like the recording, ding da da doom ding da da doom ding da da doom ding da da doom, you have no snare at all. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Okay. Watch. Go ahead and play it. I'll show you. You're just playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your timekeeper. That's what's gonna make it work. Okay. All right. So little by little, I want to make sure that we're good on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can take off a little late. You can be late to basketball. It's okay.
All right.
Ah.
So let's try to get through the first chunk. Okay.
Alright. I have to figure out my swing. Oh, I have to do the hi-hat. What tempo is this, by the way? It could be.
So my recommendation, based on what's written here, play the hi-hat swing for the first several bars. When you get here, then it says switch over to right cymbal. So 4, 5, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 5, 5. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So when you're in a sight reading, so here's the deal, right? When you're sight reading, do as little as possible the first time around, right? It's better to be safe. So rather than these big tom grooves where you're out of nowhere sounds really fancy and really cool because you've learned the song, you know how it goes, all of that kind of stuff, right? You've got the melody in your head, all of that, right? You don't yet. So because you don't, take it easy. Nice and simple. Yeah? And then what'll happen is then we'll play it with the track, and then you'll go home and you'll work on it. And then when you go home and work on it, then this will sound just as cool as this.
Eventually. That took me about a month or so.
Sure, but it gets quicker every time, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just like with all the rest of your reading. Every time it's going to get better, faster. If I picked a rock groove, right now I picked just some rock song, you're going to learn it way faster than you were learning rock songs a year ago. Because it always just gets faster and faster, right? As long as you're still practicing. So,
I'm not practicing.
yeah, then that's a little different. Okay? So, let's give it a try. I'll point to help you keep up, okay? Just try to grab your setups and go for the hits. If you miss them, don't worry about it. We're going to play all the way to 38. We're going to go back and fix any mistakes. And then we're going to run it again. Okay? And then we're going to move on to the next section. Okie doke? All right, let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Nice! Good. Yeah, just keep going. 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So that's okay, right? We've talked about that. You miss a set of hits, it's not the end of the world, right? If you were playing like that, it got a little bit squirrely right here, boom, you fixed it, we're good, we're off and running, it's all fine.
That was your measure ahead. I went here, finish this, then you jump to here. I was
Well, whatever the case. So, in that case, let's go back, slow this down. Let's get this measure and this measure. Let's get it together. 1, 2, bop, bop, rough bark, bark, set up, boom. Yeah. Good, again.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. What is this? Yeah, you could do bass snare. Yeah, that works fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, boom, pop. Then what is this? Okay. And then
Mark. Sit up.
so play it. Rough bark, set up. So you just have 2 bops right before it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I can feel you starting to get frustrated, but it's okay, right? You fixed it and you figured it out and you learned it in about 30 seconds, right? You didn't sight read it, but sight reading, in fact, all of my kids that are over at Macaulay's right now, they just had some big audition. They nailed everything except the sight reading. All of them failed the sight reading. All 5 of them. That's how it goes, okay? Sight reading is the hardest part of music. So, you gotta give yourself some grace.
Can't you just play time the entire time? Technically, you're sight reading it.
Technically, but we want to be better, right? So it's the same reason that in a book you've got multiple words that will mean the same thing, right? But sometimes they use words that are a little more flowery because it gives a different kind of a feel, right? So you could, I guess probably a better example is that you could cook a plain burger or some kind of plain food, right? But it's going to taste better if you put some seasoning and stuff on it, right? So can you just get away with that? Yeah, you could do that right now, but I've never just let you take shortcuts, right? Because when you take shortcuts, then you just stop there. You hit a ceiling and you go, nope, this is too hard, I'm done. And then, whereas by pushing you, this sounds great now. It was hard, but it sounds good. Okay, so it's going to be the same thing, right? We're going to run into a section where you're not really sure what to do. We're going to work it out. You're going to learn it, and then boom, you're fine. Okay, so no problem. So let's do a couple more times, make sure you got it locked in, and then we're going to kind of back it up so that you can hit it in time. Good. Give me 2 more good ones like that. Yep, good. Okay, so now let's back up. Let's start here. This is right after your setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5. Boom. Nailed it. Yeah? Okay. One more time. From here. All right, so what about this one? So in fact, check this out. So we could play this as bop, bop, rough bark, right? But also, honestly, I think this is easier. What if we played, we'll start with this part, what if we played bass snare, and then what is that? Dooba-dooba. But it's short. do bark, pat, pat. As everything else drops out. Yeah, it's even kind of an interesting effect because you got a bark here and then a hat on too. So you either got to close it real quick or you got to let it hang and then close it on its own. So if you were to or okay, start from here again. Get all those 1, 2, 3, all 3 measures. Good, good. Okay. Let's grab all of it. So how about we'll start here. So you can go 1, 2, then you have this, bop, bop, rough bark, bark, set up, ding, 2, 3, 4, boom, pat, pat. Okay, can we start from right there?
Yeah.
This measure. So much faster. You've put in all the work ahead of time. You might not get it right away on your first go, but I didn't either. You know, I don't grab every single figure exactly correct on the first try. It's okay, but you can go back and you can fix it, and then it sounds good, and you start ripping. Especially you start playing like that at the high school in front of high school kids. That's crazy. Yeah, that's gonna feel good, right? It's gonna be worth it. Yeah. Is it going to be tough to get there, though?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Not as tough as you've got it made out to be in your head.
The tough part's going to be getting mom or dad to take you over there.
Yeah. Well, we can work out a day for sure. In fact, we are doing Tuesday evening rehearsals. So even to drop by in the evening at the rehearsals usually start at 4. So it's 4 to 6.
So during his basketball practice.
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
We might have to miss a basketball practice so you can go play drums in front of high schoolers. There you go, dude.
Yeah. Okay?
No,
I want to try to make it work. So,
Not today.
I can't guarantee it, but Bruce usually kind of cuts me a lot of blank checks. So usually he'll let me do things like that.
Blank checks?
Yeah, meaning he goes, do whatever you have to do in order to make it happen.
You're not getting paid?
No, a blank
I'm
check
getting
means you
paid.
can write whatever you want on how much you want.
Nope, I'm getting
If you
paid.
bring in someone that's... If you bring in me there, won't it be like... So you taught the kid that, but you're not teaching the high schoolers to do that?
I am teaching the high schoolers to do that. The difference is you've been playing for about 6 years. They've been playing for about a week and a half.
I just been playing this for 1 day, so...
Yeah, but I'm talking about they started playing drums for a week and a half, right? The first time one of them sat down, Angel sat down at the drum set for the first time last week. And Jimmy. Sonia has technically sat down at a drum set before, but has never played anything ever. And Gabe has played some.
So you better
But Angel's the one who's playing this tune. Gabe is playing...
Out of nowhere?
No, he's playing Manteca. So he's playing a different tune. He's using a songo. So, all right. So we are now a little bit over. We're about 5 minutes over. So I want to make sure that you're not too late. This is how we're gonna work this out. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna make you a copy, but you have to promise that you're not gonna look it up and listen to it. That defeats the purpose. Can you promise me that?
I don't know.
I want you to work on the music without listening to it.
I have control of the phone, so
Only
yes.
1 week.
As soon as you can play the whole chart, top to bottom, then we'll put on the track. Promise.
That's gonna take about a few years.
It will not. How long did
Dude.
this take? Not a
This
few
is 2
years.
pages. That's 2 pages.
This
That's 5
is
different
out of
songs.
nowhere. Was also 2 pages.
That's 1 song. That's 5 different songs.
It's 5 pieces of songs.
Different song.
Yes.
This song's like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
but it'll be fine.
Dude, you'll nail it.
You got this one. You already got this made. ding, chaka ding, do do ding, chaka ding, boom. You just do that for 3 lines. You're set. You're good to go. Easy peasy. There aren't even hits in here.
So if you wanted to get fancy, to use the other one.
No, this is just they're reminding you of the pattern that they want you to play, which is incorrect. So you're literally going to ignore these. You're just going to play 20 bars a time twice.
Can I have a pencil really quick? I just want to do one thing.
Don't write on my music though.
I'm gonna do it on mine.
Okay, so no big deal, right?
Yeah.
So I think the hardest parts are going to be the figures. So right here, like what you worked on, right here, this.
We'll get Mom to give you her highlighter.
This is just brush stuff. This is, you remember how to do circles with your brush? Right? Do circles. So you do circles going in opposite directions. Yeah?
Yeah.
You have to move the gel.
Darn it. It just
Move the gel. Okay. I'll move the gel. Yeah. So then all it takes from there is you just, for the sake of time, you put a little bit of an emphasis on 2 and 4. But that's it. Okay? Then you got your mambo pattern that you already know. So then the one other thing that's going to be tough is probably from here to the end, because this is when you get, even this is a boogaloo. You're going to just play on the floor tom.
Oh!
Yeah.
That looks scary, but it's not.
It's not. You can read these patterns. Da 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 da, and then it just repeats. And then you jump in here, and then you're doing a shout chorus. So this part will be a little bit trickier too. Okay? Shout choruses are cool though, because it's jazz time, but you get to play backbeat too. You get to actually hit the thing.
What does that kind of sound like? What song did you recently cover that did something similar to that?
Check